Hey everyone. Okay, I wanted to hop on here. I've talked to a few moms in the last, I would say, week or two who are really hemming and hawing of what they should be doing with their child who has learning and behavior issues this summer. So some of them are kind of thinking, well, should I just let them have this happy, nostalgic summer that I, dream about, that I had when I was a kid, or do I have them work on things? And if I do that, am I taking this, magical summer away from my child? And then, there's the whole conundrum of how to make this happen and how to, if you are going to make changes, how to do that sanely and so forth. So I want to walk you through what I consider some basic mindset blocks that can really don't really have to happen and really don't have to occur. So, I hear all the time in September, we are going to start X, Y, and Z, meaning when school starts. And people have this resistance to doing things in the summertime because they think change equals stress and change equals no fun. So who wants that in the summer? We're going to wait. We're going to, have our day in the sun and so forth. And whenever we get back to school and the kids, get back into routine, then we'll start something new. And I'm going to be totally honest. For some parents, sure, that can work for them. But honestly, if you think about the insanity of starting something new when we're trying to get the kids back to school, you have to kind of think about what the benefits are in the summer and why the resistances that you have are there and why they really don't need to be there. So, instead of thinking we're going to have an epic summer and then we're going to get back to the grind come the school year, that's literally what a mom told me last week. And I literally wrote down the word back to the grind because to her, getting her kids on a better track is painful, right? When we say back to the grind, that means no fun. This is going to be painful. So if you see the problem here and you start thinking of back to school and work as the grind, we're already setting ourselves up for failure in a way because we're seeing this as a really negative experience. So I want you to consider for a minute and feel free to, post in the comments, whether you're watching the live or the replay. What if change was fun? What if it was even exciting, God forbid? What if it could be slow and sustainable? These improvements could be sustainable, sane, and slow. So it did not mean overwhelm, difficult, resistance, battles with kids, all that type of stuff. So the problem is you're waiting for the school year to make these changes. And yet that is a sure way to feel really overwhelmed if you start as soon as the school year starts. Because trying to get kids into a routine and weaving in new habits at the same time can get really overwhelming. We all know there's that. I know whenever everything for me as a teacher and as a mom, and it doesn't even matter if you weren't a teacher or aren't a teacher, September is just like a high energy, but also exhausting time of year, right? And so what I tell my clients in my program is too much change too fast will often lead to it's just a recipe for disaster because it's just too overwhelming. And so instead of, back to school, September insanity, depending in Canada, it starts in September, but I know for a lot of my American friends, it starts in August for back to school. What if you could have slow and sustainable changes over the summer that do not have to be miserable or painful and so forth? So I'm going to give you 4 reasons why summer can be an amazing time to improve learning and behavior in, these sane ways. And the number one reason is that the kids typically are more relaxed. They're not as overwhelmed, they're not as tired, and so you're going to be met with less resistance. So that's number one. A lot of these kids, as you know, who have learning difficulties, behavior issues, struggle with feeling different than the other kids. School is very stressful. They come home tired. They might have more homework to do. And so they're not in a really good state for these changes to occur and so forth. And so when they're in the summer, they're more relaxed. They're in a better state for these neuroplastic changes or whatever changes you want to make. It doesn't have to be, brain training. It can totally depend. Number 2, just simple, there is more time. So there's more time to do new routines, to swap up snacks for healthy and tasty alternatives, whether there's more time for you, more time for your kids. A lot of parents take holidays in the summer. And, if you are doing things like brain training exercises, neurotechnology, or brain training tech like I use in my program, again, you have more time to do that. So more time means it is easier to be successful and implement these changes. You're not trying to rush all of these changes into an already tight schedule. Number 3, more control. So if you're trying to do something like, I don't know, reduce the amount of sugar your child is eating, or you're like, I really suspect gluten can be a trigger for them and I want to remove gluten, it's actually easier for most parents to do that during the summer, even though you might think no, because then we're going to be on holidays or whatever. Yeah, there's always going to be those situations where you're going to be out at social outings and things, are not going to be ideal. But summertime, this is when I started my daughter on a anti-inflammatory gut healing diet that was pretty intensive because, as some of you know, she had a pretty serious neuroimmune condition. And I started it the first day of summer holidays. And the reason I did that is because I knew there wouldn't be this influence from the other kids of, do you want my snack? Do you want this? We're going to be going here for a field trip and all of that stuff that is out of your control. And if you're trying to test to see if, removing this food or changing that is going to make a difference, it's going to be hard to do that. Or how do I say hard, like impossible, but it's more challenging to do that and to see the results. So sometimes parents will say, well, I know we're gluten-free at home and things have been better, but I'm not sure if they're sneaking things at school. And so that's where you just have more of your kids in that window to be able to, analyze results and so forth. So number 4 is that when you're trying anything new, the less balls in the air, the better. So if you're trying something new, summertime is actually a great time for a lot of parents who have more time to just weave these changes in and so forth. It's a chance to master whatever it is you're trying to change or shift without trying to do this whenever you're back to school. And there's all these other things that you have to juggle as well. So it's all about sustainable change, baby steps, not making this a stressor, and just making life more peaceful, right? So if you want to learn how you can have a confident, calmer child this summer, reach out, book a free clarity call, learn more about my 6-month program, The Full Potential Formula. I now have the Full Potential Academy, which is a 1-year program with one-on-one coaching, all kinds of amazing stuff, and everything in between. So, and maybe that's not where you're at right now. Let me know in the comments below what you think you do want to focus on this summer. Is it better nutrition? Is it just changing up some of the snacks? Is it just starting with basic brain training exercises like you can find in my Laser Focus Learner Starter Kit? What can you do this summer to start shifting changes? And just to add this last piece that comes to mind, when I used to specialize in mind, body, eating, or eating psychology, your brain will always find a reason or excuse to make things seem like this is not a good time. It's never going to be an ideal time, but don't let summertime make you think that, you have to wait until September to start improving your child's brain or powering up your child's brain for a better school year. So thanks for watching, everyone. I will put links in the comments below for both the Clarity Call as well as the Laser Focus Learner Kit. Have a fantastic rest of your day.